Hello, Achim Yekarim, here from Jerusalem, giving you the Daily Chidush. Baruch HaShem, it's a beautiful city full of holiness, and Bezat HaShem will have some new Chidushim to give us a perspective on life and who we are and what's really happening in the world today. So, in the series we started recently in the last couple of weeks that Baruch HaShem has become very popular, called Judaism 101, which is perfect for anyone that wants to convert to Judaism, or Baalei Tshuva, because it talks about all the basics of Judaism. We mentioned the Gemara in Masechet Avodah Zarah. This is the critical part of the Torah. This is the Gemara, and it says that in the end of days there will be an extraordinary amount of converts looking to join the Jewish people. And we're seeing this in live action. Baruch Hashem, many people are joining the Jewish people more than ever. There's a lot of them that are coming, that are in the process of conversion, working on conversion, and it's just there's literally millions and millions of people in the world that right now are potential converts. Now the question here is, why would anybody want to join the Jewish people? In the Gemara Masechet Yevamot, page 61, it says, "Atem koreim Adam, ve'en umot ha'olam koreim Adam." Hashem says to Am Yisrael, "You are called Adam, but none of the other nations are called Adam." Adam. So the literal translation to Adam is person. So why is Hashem referencing Adam? Every time he's referencing Adam in the Torah, he's referencing the Jewish people, but never mentioning that Adam is the non-Jews. Every time he's mentioning them as as goyim and umot ha'olam and so on. Why? So one time there was a lawsuit against a Jewish person, and in the days of Rabbi Meir Shapira from Lublin, and they accused this Jewish person of murdering someone. As usual, they always pin everything on the Jew. And one of the things they used as a case is actually our own Torah. And they said, look, they say that only the Jews are considered a person, whereas the non-Jews are not considered a person. So Rabbi Meir Shapira, Alav Shalom, came and said, no, you're not understanding. See, the Jewish people are considered a person because we're all considered one neshama. We're all considered one person, where when one of us is in trouble, we're all hurt. So for example, in the case that we're here now, it's you're trying this one person, but the reality of it is that you're trying all of us. You're viewing this person, if he's a murderer, then maybe all of the Jewish people are murderers. If he's a thief, then all of the Jewish people are thieves, and so on and so forth. And that's really the case across the board. If you see the world today, if one Jewish person, especially if he's religious, does something bad, the world views the entire nation as bad. And that's just a reality. That's the foundation of anti-Semitism. But Rabbi Shapira was saying, see, this is something unique to the nation of Israel. It's not found anywhere else. Because if you see one Russian guy doing something bad, no one thinks anything bad about a French guy. No one thinks anything bad about an American guy, or so on. Each one of the nations is independent of itself. The Jewish people are one, and even if the non-Jews have the same religion, or a Russian Christian, or a French Christian, or anybody else, they're not viewed as one people. So when Hashem is telling us is that you have to understand that we are one nation. So much so that the Rambam said that Hashem put himself into the Torah to the point where the letters, each one of the letters of the Hebrew, the Sfat HaKodesh, the holy language, each one of the letters is actually one of his names. And we see this in the word Yehudi, Jew. How so? Not only do we see that there's secrets inside the letters themselves, but actually inside the words themselves as well, specifically when it's referencing Jewish people, because that's who the Torah was given to. Now, Yehudi is Yud, Hey, Vav, Dalet, Yud. Now, if you notice, the Dalet, the fourth letter, looks like a Resh, looks like the letter Resh, except it has a little extra line on the right side. Now, if you take that extra line out and you actually put it under the resh, under the dalit, it creates a hey, the letter hey. And then the word Yehudi is spelling the name of God. So you have something beautiful here, that Hashem is connected to the Jewish people so much so that he's in the actual name. There was the Rabbi from Lubavitch, Rabbi, Zecher Tzadik Livacha, said that somebody told him, listen, I'm trying to help this Jew do tshuva, but I'm scared. Maybe I'm going to turn him off. Maybe I'm going to offend him by telling him that violating Shabbat is a big sin. Maybe I'm going to offend him by telling him that eating non-kosher is stupefying him, as we learned in last week's parasha. Al tikru nitmetem, tikru netamtem. Don't read it as you were impurified. Read it as you were stupefied, meaning that when we eat non-kosher food, we become spiritually stupid. This doesn't mean that we can't do math problems or science problems or anything like that. It just means that as far as when it comes to connecting to Hashem, it becomes virtually impossible to truly connect to Hashem on a deep level without eating kosher food. So Rabbi from Lubavitch said, okay, well listen, what if you had a roommate, and this roommate came after a very long day of work, and he told you, listen, I'm going to sleep right now. I don't care who calls. I don't care who writes. I don't care who does anything. I'm going to sleep. Do not wake me up under any condition. You were thinking, who's this guy with his kriza, with his anger right now, and his bad mood, who wants to deal with him? I'm leaving. So, you go out. You're going to go get a coffee. And right when you leave the apartment, you get to the bottom, you notice that the house, the chas v'shalom, but the building is starting to go on fire. Now, if you go back inside to wake him up, is he going to be angry at you that you woke him up, saying, hey, well, how dare you wake me up? I specifically told you not to wake me up. I'm sleeping. Is he going to be angry? Or is he going to realize that you waking him up saved his life? The same concept when it comes to tshuva. The same concept comes to getting somebody back to Hashem, because in reality, when you're not connected to Hashem, you're not connected to reality. You're not connected to the truth. You're sleeping. Because when someone says they believe in Hashem, but in essence is constantly taking actions against Hashem and is making themselves an enemy of Hashem by violating Shabbat, by violating Nidah, by violating all of these mitzvot that he wrote in the Torah, obviously this person is sleeping. They have no idea what they're doing, because if you really believe in the same Hashem, that's the Hashem that's in the Torah, then under no condition whatsoever we ever even do one sin intentionally. So let alone many sins. So obviously, the Rabbi says, hey, he's obviously sleeping. So if you wake him up, when he wakes up, he's going to thank you, he's going to hug you, he's going to love you, even though initially he's going to be shocked, and he's going to maybe even be upset for the first few seconds because, hey, you just woke him up. But then when he smells the smoke and he realizes that it's time to get out, it's time to wake up, it's time to save our life, he's going to be very, very happy. Same concept when it comes to tshuva. Now, joining these special people is what we see today, and one of the things that we also see about the Jewish people is that in Sefer Dvarim, in Deuteronomy verse 32:9, it says, Ki chelek Hashem amo, for Hashem's portion is his people. Now, if you look at the numerical value of total of all of those letters, each letter in the Hebrew alphabet has an actual value. Aleph has a value of 1, Bet has a value of 2, and so on and so forth. The total value on Gematria value of each one of those letters is 310. Okay, 310. Another interesting thing is the word Zikui Arabim, which is helping people do tshuva. The value of all of those letters is also 310. Zikui is 53. Arabim is 257. Total value 310. So in essence, what Hashem is telling you is that His people are extraordinarily important to Him, and the ones that are bringing them back are also extraordinarily important to them. Now, what's the significance of, another significance of this 310? Is that Hashem is also telling us that a righteous person that actually does tshuva, and the purpose, in essence, of all of creation is for all of us to do tshuva, for all of us to get to a point where we're getting to Gan Eden, to Olam Haba. Each righteous person is given 310 different worlds. So when each of us is, excited about the next car we're going to buy, or the next house we're going to buy, or the next, iPad we're going to buy, the reality of it is that if we just work a little harder at connecting to Hashem, we have much, much more waiting for us. So much so that anyone that's involved with Zikuy Arabim, and I'm not just talking to you as a speaker, I'm talking to you as just like you, because before I started speaking, Baruch Hashem, we were trying to benefiting the public in a bunch of other ways, sending CDs to people, putting links on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, and sending books, just like Gabi was doing, and still doing, Baruch Hashem. So benefiting the public and getting people in front of the truth to hopefully get them to see the truth and wake up to it is such an extraordinary mitzvah that the Zohar says that if people really knew what the value of helping one person, just one person, do tshuva, they would leave everything that they have and start running in the streets looking for a secular person to help them do tshuva. They would just go run crazy looking for anyone to do tshuva. So whether it's somebody that is religious and knows someone that's not religious, or someone that's in the process of doing tshuva and is, knows somebody else that's completely off, or even someone that's secular that still hasn't beaten their Yetzer Hara and is having a hard time learning Torah 15 minutes a day or an hour a day or anything, they want Hashem's help. This is your ticket. This is your ticket to getting Hashem's assistance. Even if you're not Jewish right now and you're in a process of converting, or you're just, in the process of becoming a righteous Noahide, this is your ticket to becoming not only righteous with Hashem, but getting divine assistance for everything that you're doing. Because Hashem is telling us here that when you are interested, careful, and caring about my people, then you become one of my stars. When you become one of my stars, just like I align the stars every day in the right places, I'm going to align your life in a very special place. Midrash says on Tehillim 116 that Hashem says to the tzaddikim regarding also Jeremiah 15:19, is that I am the creator of the world and bring back the dead, and you're the same. Who is he talking about? He's not talking about just the tzaddikim that are the smart people that are learning Torah only. He's specifically talking about here about the people that are bringing back people to Judaism, bringing back people to Hashem. He's in essence telling them that by you caring for my children to such an extent that you care enough to give them a CD, you care enough to put a link on Facebook, you care enough to press like on YouTube, you care enough to give somebody a book, you care enough to even tell somebody, hey, by the way, Shabbat is what makes you Jewish. It's the foundation of Judaism. Without it, you're not even considered Jewish, chas v'shalom. Telling someone the truth, you become special. How special? Hashem says, you and me are the same. What's the means the same? Obviously, we can't create anything. But it actually says in the Gemara, in Masechet Avodah Zarah, also in Sanhedrin, I think it's page 90, that when someone helps somebody do tshuva, it's as if they created them. This is one part of it. The other part of it is that Hashem is telling us here is that when you help somebody do tshuva, the traditional decrees that I pass on, whether they're good or bad, I will give you the right to select. How so? If there's a bad decree, chas v'shalom, on someone that you care for, in Shemaim, they made a sin, chas v'shalom, they're supposed to get a very big punishment, death penalty, chas v'shalom. If you are putting the links on YouTube, putting the links on Facebook, giving discs, giving musar to people, bringing them to Shiur Torah, doing everything you can with the extra time you have to get people to listen to the truth, to get people in front of the truth, so Be'ezrat Hashem, they come back to Hashem and have a meaningful life, you, my friend, can override that decree. Your prayer becomes so powerful that Hashem is telling you that if you pray hard enough and serious enough, I can change a decree just for you. That's what it means, kepitiyeh. You'll be like my mouth. So, why is all of this so significant? This goes back to the beginning. Because the Jew is so significant to the point where the name of Hashem is inside the word Jew, inside the word Yehudi, where each one of them is the only one that's called Adam in the entire Torah. You see that we're the chosen people. You see that we're special to Him. Of course Hashem is going to want His other special ones to collect and bring them back. Just like if a father lost a son and you brought him back, how much do you think how grateful you think he's going to be, especially if that son or daughter have been gone for many, many years. So Be'ezrat Hashem, this will give us a little bit of perspective of the value of a Jew, why people are, doing everything they can and literally sacrificing their entire life just to join the Jewish people. And last but not least, what we can do about it as far as not only helping our brothers and sisters come back to Hashem and us ourselves come back to Hashem, but most importantly, get an idea from the Torah of how to get our extra help that we need, the prayers that we have, answered. Do Kiruv, my friends. You don't need to be a public speaker. You just need to press like, post shiurim, send on WhatsApp, do all of those things. And of course, if you can speak, obviously the more the better. But anything you can do, any support you can have to that, makes you very, very special. And in Torah, they call that a star. Chazakim u'buchim, thank you for learning with me. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll talk soon.